Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see changes, we have to make change within us. We have to shift the way we see things, the way we look at things, the beliefs we have about ourselves, all of that stuff. And on Fridays, we look at what we need to release using our feminine energy and what we need to rebuild using our masculine energy. It's 9:22 on the clock. Thank you for joining me. Hey, for some reason, my FaceTime camera started working today. I don't know why. I shut down my laptop last night and turned it on today, and it's back. And so now you have an actually clear picture. You might be able to see the cards, assuming the internet connection doesn't suck and it's all pixelated. I notice that happens sometimes, but you can see me more clearly and with better lighting and the actual colors of the cards. We're all so excited. Okay, so when you come here, you might want a job, you might want a career, you might want to find out why you can't stop thinking about somebody, you might want to find out if somebody's going to come back to you, you might want to find, there's all kinds of reasons why we might want to be here. Incidentally, if some reason that you want to be here is having to do with a person, that's totally fine. You'll probably be able to get information about that person, but it's only because the energy of my collective that you resonate with is your energy, and the people that are attracted to you share this energy. And so when you're like, oh, it's so eerie, this is just like my person, it's because you're just like me. And that person that you're attracted to is either just like you and triggering you in that same way, or they're like the exact opposite, kind of like a puzzle piece fitting together. And by the way, if it's more like a puzzle piece fitting together, it's probably a karmic. If it's very reflective, like you have the same issues that the other person has and you heal them the same way, that's probably more of a soulmate / twins type of a deal. But if the person is a puzzle piece, if it's like, I have anxious attachment and they have avoidant attachment, that's more like somebody who's meant to teach us a lesson about anxious avoidant attachment and how to heal it. And once we heal, it's likely that they will heal too if they are truly our soulmate. But most likely, if it's more of a puzzle piece situation, it's probably not going to work out like that. It's most likely going to be if they're a complete reflection of you. Perhaps you're both anxious avoidant and you both realize it through your relationships with other people. And then when you finally do come together, you've both healed anxious avoidance. So if you're working on that with somebody who's the opposite of you, that's probably a person teaching you the karmic lesson. It doesn't mean you can't stop. People be like, oh, it's a twin because I can't stop thinking about them. That's bullshit. Whoever you are focused on that you want to have a love relationship with, you will focus on them and you won't be able to think about anything else. And if you break up and there's not closure and they've breadcrumbed you and left you with no, then they literally set up the state of deprivation that will cause you to continue to think about them. That's why they did it that way. So don't just be like, oh, because I can't forget about this person, they're my twin or whatever. If you heal the wound that person's triggering you to feel, and they are not your twin, you'll be able to stop thinking about them. It might not be overnight, but it will be within time. If they are truly meant to be with you, you won't have to stop thinking about them because they will heal just like you did and they will come to you. Okay. Anyway, so you think you need something. Whatever that thing is, hold it in your mind for a second. Whatever it is that you want to happen. And this is what you actually need. So that's what you think you need, and this is what you actually need. This is the 10 of Wands, and it says oppression on it. And it's interesting because I've always read the 10 of Wands as this card about responsibilities, burdens, not having communicated, not having shared your feelings, and then suddenly dropping everything, sharing everything, etc. And that's commonly it is read that way. However, In the Hermetic Tarot and the Thoth Tarot, and of course, both the writers, Aleister Crowley for the Thoth Tarot and what is it? Godfrey, right? Godfrey Dowson for the Hermetic Tarot, which is this one. They were members of the Order of the Golden Dawn. And so was actually Waite and Pamela Smith. So all the OG decks have similar personalities and their own specific languages. But specifically for the Hermetic Tarot and the Thoth Tarot, the word oppression is used. And in the Hermetic Tarot, this card is actually considered the Lord of Oppression. That's what it says on the bottom of the card. And it's about excessive pressure, having a lot of pressure to do or be something that you are not. That's like one interpretation of the card that I didn't always associate with it because I had based it mostly on the descriptions from the Smith-Waite Tarot. But there is this other element here that this card, while it is about burdens and about being oppressed with something, it can be about pressuring others. So I feel like what we're seeing this today is the thing that's coming to my mind right now is that while the masculine energy must communicate, the divine feminine energy must stop pressuring for communication. That's the feeling I'm getting. That's what we actually need to learn today, to communicate and to stop pressuring communication. The pressuring of the communication is a fear that it won't happen, and the not communicating is a fear that it won't be received well, or that the content will cause some kind of an issue, or that they don't know what to say. So it's both fear-based responses. Okay, that's what we need to learn today from this spread. Let's dig into the divine feminine side of the spread. Remember, this is energy. It is not gender, and your person has feminine energy, and if they don't, they are super fucked up, and you should definitely break up with them. And I don't mean they have to wear, like dresses or something, although if they do, far out, man. Like, I love me a Harry Styles. But it's more that if they have no balance in the feminine energy, they don't express their feelings, they don't seem to have feelings or be open to feelings, that person is probably extremely distorted, and you will have a very difficult time getting anything out of them. So you can gain information about a whole person by knowing your whole self. So let's dig in. Divine feminine. Here is the general energy surrounding what you feel needs to be released. And I'm not surprised. We have the devil here in reverse. And this is one of my favorite devil cards from the Mystic Mondays Tarot. And we have the Three of Swords, or Three of Voices, as it is called, from the Muse Tarot, also in reverse. So when I see reversals for both positions and a general energy, what I sense usually is this feminine is about to turn things around. She's about to make a change. She's ready for this release. In other words, this release will be the thing that helps her move forward. So what exactly is she thinking about? The Devil card is a card, when it's upright, about pleasure, and it's about fixation, obsession, watching, and its shadow carries, of course, the obsession part you can be obsessed with creating something, and that can be a positive obsession, like fixated or focused on something until you get done with it. That can be a positive obsession and a light trait of the Devil card. And then being fixated on something until it is detrimental would be its shadow. Being codependent, it is the distortion of the Lover's card, typically, because the original imagery has an angelic presence in the Lover's card with the lovers in front of them. And the Devil card has of course, the ferocious horned god, which was usurped by the Christians and demonized so that people would stop worshiping the god and the goddess. But regardless, that devil is standing over the lovers in the devil card with chains that are just loosely around their neck. And it's basically like the shadowy version of the lovers card. And then the final culmination of the lovers card happens in the temperance card, where there is balance. The angel is now pouring the cups back and forth. It's literally like the nature of the twin souls has become divine. So when we're seeing this reversal in this card, I love that what they're showing you is that the devil is not a scary horned devil. It's the feminine herself who has devilish thoughts. She has a hell of a time getting out of her head. She tends to like take these twisting, turning paths that are, telling her all these crazy stories. And she's thinking, I gotta stop doing that. And the stories are the three of voices, the heartbreak, the pain, the suffering. There could be fears about third-party energy, wounds she's received from it. But what we're seeing is, if this was upright, I would be like, wow, she's stuck in her head. She's thinking all the time about trying to heal this wound. But what we're seeing is she's really over it. There could be this can also represent sometimes a karmic person, a third party who she's realizing this person really was an energy that was just teaching me a lesson, and teaching me how to heal my wounds. And I want to let this person completely go. I want to completely heal these wounds. Something about this is happening for her. This can also be that she has done a really a sexual healing from a sexual assault, that she is now needing to release the past, the wounds from the past, from whatever has happened to her. And honestly, if that's true, then the person that she released might have been a reflection of that initial perpetrator. Her hidden assistance right now, which is a funny position. Sometimes it's like annoying because it's something that you don't like. And the universe is like, yeah, you didn't like that? Well, that's what's helping you, bitch. Okay. Sometimes it is annoying. But what we're seeing first is the Princess of Wands upright. And this is such a lovely energy. This would be considered Page of Wands if you were trying to associate it with OG Smith Waite, or any of the older original decks. But in this image, what I love is that they've taken this page energy, which is supposed to be like a child, youthful, and they're having her standing balanced, and her legs are creating the four, just like in the Hanged Man imagery. So we're getting a sense that some new perspective has been gained, and now she can stand on her own, even if it's somewhat like of a start or initial response. There is stability here in whatever spark or inspiration that she's feeling. So she might have a new interest in what she does in work, or in an individual, or in herself, a renewed interest in herself. This is also can be about burgeoning sexual energy as well. And it can be about having immature communication skills. Remember, this is hidden assistance. So in some ways, when she communicated immaturely with this person that she needed to release, it actually prevented them from coming together. It can be something like that. But I think this is more, because it's coming upright, it's really more about inspiration and new ideas, new thoughts about herself, being able to feel that even if she's just starting out, she can still stand strong on her own. And this is coming out with the moon in reverse. So this is that the secrets or mysteries that were hidden from her have become fully illuminated. And I'm really seeing that she's getting these new ideas. So some like very toxic like beliefs that had hooked into her psyche, coming from the past wounds she had received, I just heard from someone evil. I'm not a person who, I literally will be like, listen, we got to forgive everybody. There's no such thing as an evil person, a purely evil person. But I do think that's a bit of my naivete, and because I am truly empathic and can understand circumstance and choices made, and the roll of the dice, so to speak. It's very difficult for me to really truly view people as inherently evil, but there is a point when people cross over into a detachment from the consequences of their actions that truly shows us what evil looks like. And so while a person themselves may not be evil, they may be a conduit for evil energy. And it might be their job to show us those shadows so that we can reflect back light. But I weirdly had that thought that like she has learned something about somebody in her past that did evil to her. Again, very unusual for me to talk that way, so it definitely is coming not from me. I despise like evil good kind of stuff, but that is the message. Okay, so what past experience do I need to release? The world in the headspace, and this is the atom, like the creation of the world almost, and then the sun in the heart space. This is a tough one because this is what you need to release, and this is why it is so difficult. You need to release your idea about what you thought you would make you happy. This is a cycle completing or ending. And in this sun card, there is only a feminine here who is at peace. She is meditating. And there is not the typical inner child imagery that we normally see. The horse, instead, it's just this feminine who is like really powerfully activating this chakra energy within her solar plexus and her crown, and fully connecting with this divine. But this is also known as, it's associated with the divine masculine card. And striking that we are seeing both the sun and the moon coming out in this reading. And the moon being in reverse, this idea that what was once secret or hidden has fully come to light. And so I'm seeing this as an illumination that the way that she created the world for herself, and look at it's burning now, right? The sun is fire. And the same here, the same atom here, this is how creation is. Like the Big Bang comes from this explosion of atoms or whatever the fuck. I don't know shit about it. But I'm getting this explosive feeling. And she had this idea that this individual, this divine masculine energy, it was going to bring her happiness. Now, this isn't about a specific person. This is what she has to release in general. Believing that your world will be complete and that you will be happy by being with a masculine energy. You won't be happy just because you're with a divine masculine energy, and you will not be complete when you are with a divine masculine energy. Because if you are truly enlightened, you understand that sacred union of completion takes place within self, right? The tiniest atom that you're composed of is already, this alone is already complete. There doesn't need to be anything else on this card because the whole world is contained within that energy of consciousness. So finally releasing this idea that a divine masculine completes the feminine. No, No, that's not the way. A person is already whole, already complete from the very spark that makes them. Nothing else needs to be there for them to have joy or happiness, completion. You are enough. So you have to release the idea that your world, you will only be happy if this divine masculine is a part of your world. And it can be about a specific one, but I don't think it is. I just think it's the general energy. We as feminine identifying individuals have been taught that we cannot exist autonomously for many, 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 many years. In many cultures throughout the world, we have been taught that we are possessions, that we are not autonomous individuals. And even when we have collectively decided not to own other people on paper, we still were put into a position where we had to be owned. So it makes sense that you feel like if someone doesn't own you, you're not complete, because you're literally taught that you can't be autonomous. But you have to release this idea because it is false. What can I do right now to soothe myself? King of Wands in reverse, and the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and the Page of Wands, which we saw was the Hidden Assistance, in reverse. Interesting. Do nothing. Do nothing. That is literally, what can I do to soothe myself? Do not take action. Do not communicate. In the 3D, this is like this is doing work, like building a sanctuary, collaboration, teamwork, partnership. And this is a spark, an inspiration, like, a new opportunity, a new desire. This is do not try to start a new connection. And potentially you don't need to do anything to release the spark or this attachment or this pull or chemistry or something or whatever it is to masculine energy. There's nothing you need do. It's 9:44 on the clock and 22 minutes on the timer. There is nothing that you need do to build your confidence. It's like you already are confident and you already have the masculine energy within you. You don't need it. You don't need to feel a spark or a connection with someone to be able to do the work that you want to do in the world. So that's how you can soothe yourself. It's going to take a while for you to really believe this, because you have been thinking for so long, oh no, a person who is happy is a person who is in partnership. But your idea of partnership has been with one specific individual or one specific type of energy. Like, I have to be in partnership with a divine masculine to be happy. I have to be in a union. I have to be married. I have to do this and that and the other thing. And it's like, there used to be reasons why that was true. If you wanted to have a child, you could not have a child out of wedlock or without a donor. If you wanted to have a lot of money, you could not own your own possessions or have your own money. If you wanted to pursue a certain career, you could not do it. Do you see where I'm going with this? But all of your feminine ancestors and guides right now, like, I have cold chills because they are all behind me. A lot of divine feminines have passed recently in the last few months that were grandmothers, great aunts. Like, just suddenly in my life, all my friends have lost their grandmother recently to COVID and heart attacks. And, we keep losing these, like, wow, my crown chakra pressure is really going off. And there's emotion coming up. They're like divine feminines. You are running an old story. You're running an old paradigm that was true for them when they were young. And you are the promise of the future where you don't have to give up your identity, your dreams, your soul, so that you can be a possession or a belonging or half of someone. You know, think about when they introduce you as your husband's name in our culture. It's like the lovely Mrs. Brian Moore was my last permutation of myself. I'm sorry. Did I lose myself completely in this other person? Where am I? So it's like all of your ancestors of the feminine, of the divine feminine energy are like, bitch, you don't need it. Do you understand? You are the first, one of the first generations in all time to be able to have the complete freedom that you want to have the autonomy that you want to have children on your own, to create your own positive, healthy, supportive foundation and environments that don't have the distorted masculine overarching every single thing you do. So, what can I expect to encounter as I make space for this new energy? Here is the 5 of Swords, and here is the Muse, or the King of Pentacles from the Muse Tarot, the Muse of Pentacles. This is about having finally accepted defeat in regards to a specific person or the provider, protector, masculine, paternal energy. What you have to look forward to once you make space for new energy is that in accepting this defeat, look who becomes this King of Pentacles. And it is learned through this reflective energy. It's like masculines are distorted King of Pentacles too, because they're not balanced within themselves. So you balancing within yourself, divine feminine, allows you to fulfill this King of Pentacles energy within self, and allows you to walk away from needing anyone else to give this to you. You have it within you. It's already there. So you don't need a man. I don't need a man. And it doesn't mean you can't have one. It means you don't need one. When you need one, it's really hard to get one, because that energy is repellent, not attractive. Okay. So you don't need this. You truly do not. What behaviors have gotten in my way? Princess of Cups in reverse and the 4 of Pentacles. I can't fucking make this up, man. Really childish, being emotionally underdeveloped, having a dream or a fantasy. This is a princess. I'm a princess. And my divine masculine, who I love and I'll never let go of, is going to save me. It's going to make all my dreams come true. Holding on to somebody because of this idea of true love. Let me tell you what true love looks like, okay? Because I've been confused for a long time about it. I thought true love was when you couldn't stop thinking about somebody and they were always on your mind, and, you know, and they created this like these intense feelings within you, and they, and like they would express it to you too. And, you know, it would be, no. What I just described happens when you trauma bond with somebody too. True love is when you, yes, I am calling out the feminines today, girl, because I'm one of them. But true love is when you experience reciprocation. It is when you, there was a meme that I posted about it. And I wish I remember what day I posted it on. I feel like it was back in December. But it had the difference between true love and trauma bonds. Let me just see because I haven't posted that much. I might be able to find it. Thanks, I haven't posted that much. And then there's like so many posts. Here we go. Trauma bond. The relationship starts with instant attraction, right? That inspiration. Instant attraction and irresistible chemistry. In true love, the relationship starts with attraction and curiosity that builds over time. In a trauma bond, the connection is highly physical and sexual. In true love, the connection is physical, sexual, emotional, and intellectual. In a trauma bond, the relationship cycles through extreme highs and lows. In true love, the relationship is stable and predictable and based on mutual trust. In a trauma bond, there are important conversations are avoided. Pretty much everybody that's watching this just realized they were in a trauma bond. True love, important conversations are a priority. Are you all blinking? Did you just get hit by a car? Trauma bond, the relationship feels like an addiction that you are powerless to quit. True love, the relationship feels like an honor, a privilege, and a choice. Oops. Divine Feminine has been trauma bonding. She's been doing it out her whole life because Divine Feminine experienced a horrific trauma, and probably more than one. So don't beat yourself up. I'm not truly beating you up, feminines. I'm just trying to give you a little shake so that you'll let go of whatever it is you're holding on to that makes you think that a person who has made you feel terrible, awful, that is not a person who is in true love with you. That is a person who is in a trauma bond with you. And there are no exceptions to that. You can be like, but. And I'll tell you, no. Is it possible that the person that you are thinking about right now could heal their wounds so that they don't inflict trauma in the future? Maybe someday. Have you healed your wounds yet? If you've healed your wounds and it looks like you have, that's what it looks like here, and your person has not, it is likely they are not reflecting back to you. It is likely that they are more of a puzzle piece. They had the wounds you needed that matched your wounds, and they helped you heal. And it's time to let them go. And it's not because, when I let my person go, who I was trauma bonded with, I admitted that I didn't think I did really love them romantically. I have love for them. I understand. I have compassion. I really do. I think they probably don't think that I do, but I do. I have compassion and I understand their circumstances. And I even could probably understand why they made the choices they made. But understanding and having compassion for somebody, 9:55 on the clock and 33 on the timer. It's going to happen the whole time because it's apparently 11 minutes apart. I don't feel true love for that person because they did not meet those standards. They met trauma bond. So the love that I have for them, it's not romantic. It's more of like, I understand you and I see you and I love you because you deserve love. But I'm not your divine feminine because my divine masculine would never wound me like this. And that was a huge revelation. Okay, so what can I do now to avoid this? The star, we got the sun, the moon, and the stars. So there's definitely some cosmic shit going down. And the Queen of Emotions in reverse. Beautiful. You have to heal the part of yourself that is so empathic. You can be a psychic and an empath, that's fine. But it cannot steal your life from you because you're so empathic and so understanding and so compassionate, like I just said before even looking at these positions, that you sacrifice yourself in order to save another person who honestly has no intention of doing the same for you. As much as that hurts to hear, it is true. How do I know it is true? They have not done it. Because, you know, there's a lot of cheesy things about movies that talk about true love. Hey, Jason, welcome. There's a lot of things about movies that talk about true love, but there is one element I do think about true love that is in films that is true. And that is that in situations where there is true love, you are a priority. How do I know that? Ask yourself this person that you felt true love for, which you're now analyzing, now reevaluating. Were they a priority for you? I know that my person was a priority for me. I changed where I lived because of that person. I pursued a career because of that person to a certain extent, a line. Like, this is 13 years of this person. I prioritized this connection. I didn't sleep with other people. I didn't start other relationships. I didn't ever let this person feel that I was going to leave. I was holding space for them. I literally, my tarot career even comes from trying to make myself understand why I couldn't give this person enough. This is why you can't ever give a person that doesn't know how to love themselves enough, because they can't give that to themselves, so they're gonna keep asking for that. There is nothing about you that is not enough. There never was. When a person has true love for you, you are a priority. There's no question. They have as much empathy for you as you have for them, and they respect you. And they honor you, and they do not withhold. Withholding is an emotionally abusive behavior. You can act emotionally abusive now and again. We're not perfect. You're going to do that sometimes. You're going to withhold from your friends or your family. But somebody who is chronically withholding, strategically withholding, that person is a narcissistic abuser. They might not have narcissistic personality disorder. They actually might. But even if they don't have the full-fledged disorder, it's likely they had a traumatic parental figure who did. And they don't know how not to do that. And you've healed your wound, but they haven't. Or you haven't healed your wound, and that's why you're fitting together right now. Heal the wound. Heal this wound of the over-emotionality, the, allowing your guilt or concern about someone else's feelings to override how bad you feel. And shine and be who you are. Don't hide yourself away. Anybody who's ever asked you to hide, to be with them, that's not true love. What is growing within me or in this connection as I move on? The Fool in reverse and strength. No more leaping into situations that are not truly stable. No more having a new beginning with yet another divine masculine so that you'll feel complete. No. But actually cautiously going forward into your new life, really controlling this ego, this beast, allowing that divine feminine strength that you've gained to help you sort out when to take a leap. And I'm going to tell you, it's not about logic. It's not about intellect. So don't be deceived. I have a lot of clients that are incredibly smart. I have PhD candidates getting their PhD in complex topics. It's not because you're not smart enough that you can't do this. It's not that at all. It's feeling. It's based on your feeling. Listen, you'll be like, people will be like, I don't know. I don't know if this is my person. And I'm like, how do you feel right now when you are thinking about them? I guarantee it's not good, because they're, unless they're communicating and showing up, and like maybe they're in another country right now, but you can't see them because of logistics, but they're still making an effort to talk to you. They're still calling you. They're still like, that's different. I'm talking about the person that you're not in communication with, or very little, or very small talk, or not very interested in you, or not prioritizing you in any way. I'm talking about how you go to bed at night and you cry, Let's look at masculine energy now. Divine feminine. I think you can release that. Now remember, I was calling out feminine energy because inside of your person who is a masculine person, there is a part of himself who feels like he can't be complete unless he has this happiness, which he associates with somebody from his past. It's the same kind of an energy. It's just a different expression of it in your person. All right. Now, divine masculine energy, general energy. So this is what divine masculine would like to rebuild now, or like why he needs to rebuild, or what he needs to rebuild. But we are getting the 3 of Wands in reverse and the 4 of Cups upright. And I just want to look. I thought about this when I pulled this card today. I pulled out this guidebook for the Wild Unknown Tarot because somebody asked about the 9 of Pentacles. They were like, or the 10 of Pentacles. They're like, this is actually the 9 because it has a tiny pentacle in the center that's hard to see. And then I wanted to read. When I pulled out the book, I remember the descriptions are really good. So I want to read this one. Now, remember, this is in reverse. So when it's upright, it says, the 3 of Wands indicates that you've had continued support from others, perhaps from your parents or 2 good friends. With their help, you formed a sense of self, of your values and morals. But now it's time to rely on yourself for guidance, clarify your goals, and cast others' needs and opinions aside. The future is infinite, and it is yours. No one else can see through its layers of light and shadow. Very interesting that I wanted to read it because that's a very different description of the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands for me is a card about patience or impatience when it's upright. It's about waiting for your ships to come in, like seeing them come in finally. And it's about faith, having faith that you are supported. So the support part from that makes sense. But very interesting. So the divine masculine has been relying on himself, but in a distorted way. It's like, or he's leaving behind, maybe he's been turning to others for support all the time and caring about their opinions. And he's now got to rebuild from that. He now has to learn how to trust himself, how to have faith in himself. And it's coming out with that 4 of Cups energy, which in this Prisma Visions Tarot, we're seeing this individual who's sitting here with 1 cup in front of him knocked over. That for me is like his own cup or an offer that he's ignoring. And then behind him, there is another cup that's turned over and 2 cups that are upright. So it's almost like his self-love, he's lost his ability to tap into this Ace of Cups because some relationship that he wanted, that he was fantasizing about or dreaming about, was destroyed by another energy. And like a third energy, something about that. And he's lost the support and connection that he had and he wants to rebuild it. He wants to figure out how do I get back to this point where I believe in myself and I love myself so that I can stop feeling this impatience with things not grounding, things not happening. So his hidden assistance, fascinating. The 10 of Wands in reverse, and we literally discussed the 10 of Wands today as our theme. This is what we need to be learning. Remember, no communication, and excessive pressure, excessive force, right? And the sun, which is another image that is non-traditional. And of course, I choose these decks intuitively. This is what Divine Feminine needed to release. The Divine Masculine energy in the implied here, the idea that the Divine Masculine could complete her or make her happy. And I find it interesting that this is the same thing, and this is also a card of completion. Now, in this card, this is total major completion. This is completing your soul. This is believing that some other person completes your soul, okay? This completion is different. It's a minor arcana completion, and it is putting something down, like finally opening up. If it's in its reverse, it's resisting doing that. So resisting talking to the Divine Feminine about happiness, about what makes him happy. He has not been communicating, and this is what's driven the feminine into this state where she's like, well, maybe I don't need a masculine. But this is helping her because she has to get there. She cannot have any masculine energy if she thinks she needs it, because that's not what she needs. What did she need? She needed to stop pushing. She needed to stop using excessive pressure, right? Undue pressure to get the communication about this happiness, because she believes that what the masculine is going to tell her is going to make her happy. She's like, I just need him to communicate with me, because when he communicates with me, it's going to make me happy. And what is helping the masculine is that he's not communicated with her how she makes him happy, how the blending of their worlds will make him happy, because he's got the same problem. His happiness has to come from within him. And so it's not that he's done this intentionally. It's not that he's like the smartest, most in tune person in the world. And he's just like, yeah, Divine Feminine isn't what constitutes my happiness. So like, I can't really tell her that. No. He thinks Divine Feminine will complete him. That's because his feminine energy within himself thinks that another soul will complete him. Okay? He's just not telling her that. And that's good, because it's wrong. That won't complete him. That's why the nine of this card of completion is not upright. It will not complete his happiness to have the feminine. His happiness will come from within him, and then he will share it with the feminine when he's fucking ready to. All right. What past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process? The Mother of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. There could be an actual maternal energy, the masculine's mother, who is requiring him to be very generous with her, or there could be a feminine that was a past partner that he's having to give a lot of his time and money to. It can be that the Divine Feminine is worthy of a level of reciprocation that the masculine hasn't yet been able to imagine or envision himself being able to fully follow through with. So those are some of the things that have challenged him in rebuilding this. Okay. What can I do right now to build my confidence? The Hanged Man upright and the King of Wands in reverse. Divine Masculine needs to get perspective on why he isn't ready to take action. Now, what's really funny is Divine Feminine, what would soothe her was the King of Wands in reverse. And what would build Masculine's confidence is the King of Wands in reverse. We are looking at a mirrored couple here. This is a direct reflection. This isn't a puzzle piece, right? A puzzle piece is going to look like this. This one is down and this one is up, and they would fit together or repel each other if they were facing in the opposite direction. This is in union. This will help the feminine. It will also help the masculine. So the feminine not requiring the masculine to work with her, getting rid of this old idea that she needs a masculine in partnership, is going to soothe her. I don't need him to do anything. I don't need him to do anything to help establish myself, to help. I can do that myself. And the masculine gaining perspective that he has been draining the feminine by not taking action. The feminine's accepting, he doesn't take action, fine. The masculine is like, shit, I've been draining the feminine by not taking action. I need to look differently at my reasons for not controlling my sexual urges and desires, my jealousy, my reactivity. This is a masculine who might punish the feminine when he suspects third-party energy without there even being any valid proof of it. Quick to jump to conclusions. Divine Feminine, don't get cocky. This is shared, remember? You see some tag thing and you're like, bitch is cheating. Right? Masculine does the same thing. And there needs to be some kind of, hey, Mary Catherine, there needs to be some kind of perspective gained on this. This is also managing becoming a monogamous king, because the King of Wands upright is a king that can control all of his urges. Okay, what possible future challenges could arise? The Ace of Swords in reverse and the Eight of Swords in reverse. So, Divine Masculine might be afraid to tell the truth, afraid to be honest. He might carry old ideas about the feminine. This is more like not protecting yourself, not having healthy boundaries. So Divine Masculine might still be afraid that because he withheld the truth from the feminine, that she will maintain these very aggressive boundaries, like have excessive force to keep him away, because he was untrustworthy. So, or because he feels untrustworthy. Now, remember, the person that you are focused on who was untrustworthy with you, I'm going to hazard that that is likely a person who is your puzzle piece, who is teaching you. The Divine Masculine that is right for you is likely somebody who engaged in untrustworthy behavior in the past with the feminine who he has recently let go of. This masculine doesn't have any intention of engaging in that behavior again, but he did it in the past. And the fear is that the old ideas of himself, of how he sabotaged himself in the past, that will keep, and divine feminine fearing other masculines doing that. So if this masculine is trustworthy, then he fears that the divine feminine who's experienced a masculine energy that is not trustworthy will be overly protective and not open to him. What past behaviors have destabilized me? The Four of Swords in reverse, the Queen of Cups upright, and the Wheel of Fortune. There's our Queen of Cups again. Here she was over here in reverse for the masculine upright energy. So the Four of Swords in reverse for me is, it can be about not having faith. It can also be about opening up and expressing something, because this is really about resting and silence. It can be about resisting grief too, about not really going through your grieving process. And the Queen of Cups being upright, this is somebody who has emotional mastery. She can flow with her emotions without drowning in them. The Wheel of Fortune is like timing, good timing, and changing the wheel, like the wheel turns and so things change. So as things have come to light, the divine feminine has changed. She is no longer overly empathetic. If there is not communication, she is no longer just fine with it or receiving veiled or hidden communications. Like if things are not expressed or not fully expressed, she's got no problem whatsoever, maintaining her composure. There's no more reactivity to that timeline. And that is destabilizing to the masculine, because in the past, the divine feminine has just been like, oh, it's okay, you can do whatever you need. Like, it's just having so much compassion and being so loving, but also she's keeping a lid on her emotions here, right? So this is within him. For him, he has all this time, he has kept this lid on his emotions. And now he is really wanting to express his feelings. And this is making him feel unstable, unsure, lose faith in himself. So all those layers. And then we're seeing, what can I do now to avoid this and stabilize? The Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Stop trying to create the perfect material situation. The divine masculine, when he doesn't want to deal with his feelings, he makes it about the material. So there's withholding energy that comes from the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And in the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, particularly in this card, there's this patient spider waiting. She's built a web and she's waiting. I don't see her being so patient anymore in this reversal. I see the spider sort of being like, I built the web and the bitch isn't coming. The fly is not coming into the web. So gotta keep it pushing, because I don't need a man. I don't need to wait for anything. And the masculine, what will actually help him avoid the divine feminine, not being that compassionate when he communicates, is by no longer holding back, no longer withholding his offer, to try to wait for things to be perfect so that all of his material things are sorted out. And the sorting out of the material things is an excuse. It would be the equivalent masculine if you were like, if you want to be with your feminine so bad and your feminine was like, oh, I can be with you, but I need to lose like 20, 30 pounds first. Once I lose like 30 pounds, then we can be together, because then my body will be acceptable for you. Do you need your feminine to lose 30 pounds for you to love her or be attracted to her or want to fuck her? I don't fucking think so. So it's as fucking irrational for you to be like, oh, I need my wallet to be perfect and I need my career to be completely laid out and I need everything to be all laid out in order to express love. No! You don't provide this for the feminine. That's the thing that you have to release. The idea that the masculine provides happiness to the feminine. He doesn't. He doesn't. It's not your job to bring happiness. It's your job to show up and move your mouth hole. That's it. It doesn't involve getting a new career. It doesn't involve, having a 6-figure bank account. It doesn't involve it doesn't involve that 10:22 on the clock. It doesn't involve that. What future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? The 7 of Swords in reverse and the 7 of Wands in reverse. No more secrets, no more lies, no more deception, no more hidden things, and no more defensiveness. So when you don't have secrets, when you're not hiding anything from the feminine, then she's not making you like leap from wand to wand to try to communicate with her. She's not blocking you. She's not standing her ground against you. She is lowering her guard and allowing you to come in. So not keeping secrets from her anymore. That's where it's at. Okay, let's go now to the oracles for the divine feminine. Let's help you continue to, oh my Lord up in heaven. What the hell? What did I say? This is what you need to release the world, okay? And believing that your world is only going to be happy if you have a divine masculine. Okay, cool. Well, here's what the Tarot of the 78 Doors has to say to you to just reinforce this point, because I wanted to use this card deck today to open or close the door for you. And then, so this is what you have to release, and this is what will help you rebuild. Mm-hmm. You have to release the world. This idea of your completion coming from somewhere outside of self. That was clear in this position. So the universe is hammering this home. But the universe is giving you your solution for this. It is the thing that actually challenges the masculine in rebuilding. The masculine is challenged in rebuilding this connection because you're a Queen of Pentacles, and a Queen of Pentacles demands reciprocation. And the masculine is perceiving reciprocation as monetary, material, because the masculine is not quite tuned into the heart space. That reciprocation is energy, not money. So what challenges him is, this is how you will rebuild your life after ending a karmic cycle, releasing some person, releasing the idea that you have to have another person external of your body to complete yourself, that you have to, have the baby that you've been nurturing for years, this one individual, or this idea that, oh, a man completes me. No. You are complete, divine feminine. Your material mastery is the divine masculine energy complete within you. So hammered home. And the masculine is challenged in coming forward because he is in his head about how to match you. He thinks that he has to match you by having the same kind of like business idea that you have, or no, he doesn't. But that's his lesson to learn. Yours is that you are enough. He's got to learn that he is enough, right? Your Moonology card that's coming out is have faith in your dreams. And so this might be very difficult right now because your dreams used to embody a masculine and feminine coming together. And now I'm telling you, you don't need that energy. And you're like, but I have this dream. You can have faith in your dream of having partnership. I'm not trying to steal your ability to be in partnership. I'm trying to show you that you don't need to be in partnership to be whole or complete. That you get to have the dreams that you want to have now without a masculine energy supporting you or financing them. That's not necessary. Is it fun? I'm sure it is. I watch The Housewives of the OC and Beverly Hills Housewives just like anybody else. I'm sure that it's a lot more fun to start a business when you have like a $150,000 like bank account and investment from your partner that allows you to get off the ground. I'm sure that's super fun, but you don't have to have it. You can have whatever dream you have now. Like, I'm going to have Hogwarts. I'm going to build Hogwarts. It's going to be a fucking castle. And and actually might just reclaim a castle and turn it into Hogwarts. It's going to happen. And I don't need any man to help make that happen. And when I do get a man, I'm going to be like, hey, are you cool with living in Hogwarts someday? Because that's what I'm going to do. And if they're like, yeah, totally, that sounds fucking dope, I'll be like, awesome sauce, let's go do it. And if they're like, nah, I'm good, I'll be like, okay, well, it's been nice knowing you, but that's what I'm going to do. No more am I going to modify my dreams because another person's dreams trump mine. Best fucking president's name in history. That's never going to happen. No man's dreams are going to trump mine ever again. Soul family, call in your tribe. You do not have to do it alone. Now, just because you don't need a man, this divine masculine energy outside of self, just because you don't need that doesn't mean you don't need support. You do. And you can call in all the support you need, all the help you need. You'll absolutely need help to build something. But it's not like the sexual partner who owns your body who you need to have to do what you want to do. But let's go ahead and read, because I decided today I would read from the Work Your Light deck to get our healing messages for the Divine Feminine. From this book there we go, Soul Family 80. It is time to call in your soul family and support team. People who get you at soul level. People who are the same kind of weird as you. People who are your chosen family. They are coming and they are looking for you. If you haven't found them yet, this is a sign that they are close by. But in order for them to find you and recognize you when they do, it is important that you stop dimming your light and truly let yourself be seen. Remember, this is how you will help yourself, the star being seen. If you have already found them, then you are being called to let them support you and perhaps also assemble a wider support team. Your support team can consist of all types of people, such as a therapist, coach, mentor, or healer. Tune in to what kind of support you need now. So just take a moment right now and close your eyes and call in your support team. Call in your soul family. This includes soulmates. It includes friends, relationships of all kinds, ancestors that have passed that can communicate with you in the present and guide you. Call them all in. If you've recently released a specific person and you've been feeling sad because you thought they were your person, call in the person who's meant to be with you. I can feel a lot of crown chakra pressure today for the feminine energy. There's a lot of ancestors like around. Holy moly. Okay. You are getting, I wish I was making this up. You are getting, let it shine, bitch. Let it shine, like the fucking star card. And it's the protection message. It's number 46. Are you afraid of dancing with abandon because of what others might think? Do you think you may be punished if you shine too brightly? Have you been conditioned to expect a hurt if you show yourself fully to the world? Maybe not everyone will celebrate your beautiful radiance when you shine. That is okay. Peacock Spirit is here to remind you that while others may resist celebrating the beauty within them, although they may contract while you expand and shake your tail feathers, smile and keep dancing anyway. Model the good fortune and abundant joy that is yours. And soon someone will say, me too, and join you. Spirit loves you so much and wants you to enjoy the dance and shine your light. Wow, Divine Feminine, this reading today for you is so good. Okay, daily practice. Hey, here's what you need to do. You need to spend time in nature. Spend half an hour in nature today. Visit a neighborhood park, your backyard, the local botanical gardens, or take a walk in the woods. What magic does this season hold? Find a comfortable spot to sit. Close your eyes and breathe in your surroundings. Breathe out any distractions, congestions, or stress. So that is something that you should try to incorporate into your daily practice, Divine Feminine. My time in nature, the only time that I get is we go down to the parking lot because there's less glass and toxic garbage. There's only a little bit of toxic garbage near the dumpster. It's not like spread all around. And we just walk around and around and around the parking lot because I try to walk around the street and it's just so much garbage and stuff. It stresses me out. It's like not pleasant. So we do that. And then we go over to this one corner where there is like a little bit of nature. There's like a tree and there are all these mourning doves and there's a dog that lives in somebody's house. There's like a back area that they let the dog out. And when he sees us, he gets excited. So we go out there and we stand there and I watch the birds and we talk to Puppers up on the roof. I don't know what his name is, but he is always happy when he sees us. And that's my nature. 10:33 on the clock, 1:11 on the timer. So yeah, it's not the most, but it's more nature than I was getting before I had a dog. So I really do think it does help. So try to incorporate that more, Divine Feminine. And here is your theme for the week, the Six of Swords, and it says science. Science, of course, is when we have a hypothesis and we're fairly certain that the hypothesis is true. And then we test the hypothesis and then we observe the results. Either they are in alignment with our hypothesis or they prove that our hypothesis is incorrect. That is science. I would love for people who believed in science to see how they have taken what is a theoretical practice and turned it into a religion, which is baffling to me. It's like, I believe in science. It's like, okay, well, me too. I have a hypothesis and I test it and I find out if it's right or wrong. What does that have to do with believing in anything? Like, and the whole core of science is that whatever hypothesis that you present most likely will be proven wrong at some point in time. Like everybody will keep testing it. So it's literally an ever shifting, never stable thing. So how can you believe? You can believe in being open-minded. That's what science should mean. If you're a person that is scientific and you like to look at things in a scientific way, then instead of being like, well, I believe in science over religion, you should honestly be like, well, I'm open-minded to things changing when we observe new details about them. But that's not people in science. People in science want to hold on to the hypotheses that they believe in. They don't want to see those things get changed. That's usually those people are very restrictive in their beliefs. They're like, well, there's no way to prove that, so it's not real. Even though their whole fucking premise is based on the idea that you can constantly test things to prove their validity in observational reality. Anyway, this is all to say that you need to apply science to moving on right now. I want you to treat it like a hypothesis, okay? I propose that if I leave behind this shore where I have been experiencing trauma, waiting, withholding emotional abuse, fears and anxieties triggered constantly, having to walk on eggshells so I don't, do anything that might prevent the person from actually talking to me. Let me propose that I walk away from this shore where this has been happening, and I get in the boat and I go to another shore with some new ideas that maybe I will observe a better outcome on the other shore. Try that. Just float it as a hypothesis. Like, test it. Do I feel better when I don't focus obsessively on having a relationship? Do I feel better when I just keep going? Now, if I decide I don't want to focus on a relationship, but I don't focus on myself or what I want or my passions or what I believe in or my own strengths, of course I'm not going to feel better. That's why I was focused on the person. Focusing on the person made me feel better because I didn't have to focus on myself, obviously. Focusing on myself is fucking terrible. I don't want to focus on myself. I don't have any faith in myself, right? What the fuck? I can't do anything right. So, God damn it, I don't want to look at myself. Try new things, Divine Feminine. Try to focus on yourself and see if you feel better. And if you need help with that, go to pearlsprayers.com and I'll help you. There's lots of ways. There's links below. Click the links, do the things. I'll help you out. Okay. Divine Masculine. What do you need to do? You need to release this. This is the Hermit energy, and it is the masculine completely rejecting the feminine abundance, rejecting the emotions, feelings, love, rejecting any new consciousness of the self, and instead being on your own, alone, seeking inside for, this, which is right here behind you that you're rejecting. So the masculine needs to leave this hermit energy. He needs to leave this energy of rejecting the feminine's love. And how can he do that? Wow. I gotta throw that card apparently on the floor. He can do that by this chariot energy here. And it's an interesting chariot because it's this rock star here. Now, this is a card that is about ego. It's about surrendering the ego and letting the divine drive. So technically, this car is the ego, and this guy behind the wheel is the divine. And we see this, really the ego is inflated here in this case and receiving all this adoration from all these fans. But the car is driving away from this. This car is driving away from being in this old energy of needing to be, having this ego that's constantly boosted by the external validation. Remember this card, which was about like, oh, you've been receiving all this support and everything, but it came from adoring fans. Now, adoring fans are wonderful. I have adoring fans. I love my fans. It's fun for me as a Leo to experience people being like, you're amazing, you're fantastic, you're so great. But when people tell you that and you don't really believe it, then when they tell you those things, they actually emphasize the part of you that doesn't agree. So rather than making you feel better about yourself, you actually weirdly feel worse because you don't actually believe what they say. And so you're like, they don't know who the real me is. They can't see the real me. I might look good, but inside, I'm not that great. I don't deserve love. I don't deserve abundance. I just look like I do. That's real, right? Can you feel that? So releasing the idea that other people communicating your value or worth is going to open up the masculine to receive love. And this is inside of you. Remember, you have to release the idea that a masculine will complete you, which means you have to release the idea that other people telling you you're great every day and praising you and that is what you need to feel complete. You don't. How do you know? Go look up any rock star story. They don't end well, right? They usually end in, they have 20 marriages, they have drug addiction, rehab, and if they don't die from that, then, and it's funny, it's like I used to always think that happened because artists were, very emotional, and I was fed this lie that melancholy is a part of the artist's persona. And so I'm like, oh, it must be that a lot of famous celebrities kill themselves because they're artistic. No, they kill themselves because they have never healed this and they feel like this. They don't deserve the adoration. They don't deserve their fans. They don't deserve recognition. Excuse me. They don't deserve love. And that's why they die in tragic ways. They don't believe in their gifts. And they might at some point have thought their gifts were theirs, like that they did it, and forgotten the creator. And so they're not connecting with the source where they get their talent. And then they can't do it anymore. And they're like, why? And it's because their ego has taken them out of the car. So divine masculine, it's time to release negativity. And this is it's emphasized, it's like past this time for you to release this negativity about yourself. Here is your message, masculine. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive, and connect with nature. Oops, wrong book. I always do that. Excuse me. I can't find this card. Where is it? Get grounded. There it is, 66. You are being called to get grounded to ensure that your luminous field is clear and your inner well is full. If you're not grounded, it is all too easy to get swept up in other people's energy and mistake it for your own. Your boundaries will become blurred as you are absorbing the energies around you and struggling to define what is their stuff and what is yours. Hang on a second. I'm going to get a Ricola. Okay. That's better. Okay. To ensure that your luminous field is clear and your inner well is full, if you're not grounded, it is all too easy to get swept up in other people's energy and mistake it for your own. Your boundaries will become blurred as you're absorbing the energies around you and struggling to define what is their stuff and what is yours. If you pulled this card, you are very likely an empath or a highly sensitive person and need time alone to fill up your well, balance your energy, and get grounded. But remember, this was in reverse. There are two types of people. Those who draw their energy from others and those who draw their energy from within. Wow. Two kinds of people. Those who draw their energy from others, right? There are those people. And those who draw their energy from within. Very poignant. Reflect on which one you are and carve out time each day to ensure your well is being replenished. Being sensitive is a superpower, but like all powers, it needs to be nurtured in order to be fulfilled. It is easy to get swept up in the high frequency energies that are circling around the planet. The quickest and most effective way of clearing all of this from your field is to ground yourself by connecting with Mother Earth. There are many ways to get grounded. One of the most powerful ones is to practice earthing by connecting to the power of Mother Earth. Spend time in nature. Put your hands on a tree. Your palms are extensions of your heart chakra, or walk barefoot on the earth. Your work your light action is do something to get grounded and connect with Earth. All right, that's your healing message, which Divine Feminine also got the nature card. So you're both in union there and getting grounded in the earth. And of course, Divine Masculine, I think, being a little too much up in the fantasy and not really just giving yourself in reality what you truly desire. And of course, you're getting this message. Koi fish spirit, there is always enough. Divine Masculine, with your freaking money issues, I can't with you. And I understand completely because I am you, but annoying, right? Are you feeling a sense of scarcity, afraid you will not have enough and not be enough to meet the challenges you face? Whatever your outer conditions, they are temporary and reflecting what was set forth in the past. Koi fish, so that's the thing. You know, when you're like, I don't understand why my life looks like this when I'm like doing all this work, it's because your life looks the way that your old version of yourself made it. So my old version of myself was homeless. And the best that I could come up with, which honestly was pretty fucking good, is that I bypassed a waiting list of individuals to be able to live in a 1-bedroom apartment for the cost of what it is to sleep in people's living rooms in the same part of the city. So my past version of self was homeless, and I was envisioning a way out of homelessness, and the path for me was to live here. But this is my past versions of idea of what would be successful. If you live in your car or you live on people's couches or, you know, whatever, then this 1-bedroom apartment in this location is definitely something that you want. But my past self was overcoming homelessness. My current self is building an empire. So this version of my life doesn't fit anymore. It's old. I'm like, why does my bank account look like this? Why am I between air mattresses and, you know, like a mattress in a box that's coming to my house? Like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And I chafe at it because what this is my old version. And to the person living in my car, to that beautiful, lovely individual, this is fucking amazing. Look at where I live. It's fantastic. I have a dog. I wanted a dog. I couldn't have a dog before. I have a dog. I have everything. And I'm thankful for it. And I have so much gratitude for it every day. But this version of myself wants a yard. I don't want to live in the city anymore. See how that works? So what you're seeing now is temporary because it's a reflection of your past self. Koi fish spirit is your ally in changing those conditions by transforming your inner beliefs about scarcity and plenty. Perhaps you have suffered a loss or are afraid you soon will, or have been scraping by and feeling there are simply no opportunities available for you to better your circumstances. Koi fish asks you to find prosperity within you by connecting to spirit through spiritual practices. Spirit wants to remind you that your natural state is one of abundance. Remember all that you have to offer so that you can generate your own opportunities, love relationships, and even more. Even if you feel you have little to give right now, find it within you to give to someone else, even if it is just a few encouraging words, a smile, or a helping hand. Your action will remind you that you have more than it appears. More gifts, more strength, more wisdom, more abundance. As you give to others, your own sense of prosperity grows and your outer conditions begin to shift in an alchemical reaction. Prosperity and love are yours to receive, experience, and enjoy. Believe it. Excuse me. So, very interesting, very poignant, that Divine Masculine really needs to embrace that message that there is always enough. Daily practice for Divine Masculine is express yourself creatively Express yourself creatively today. Write, paint, dance, sing, play, or what can you think of? And your theme, Divine Masculine, is the Princess of Swords or the Page of Swords from the Thoth Tarot. This an interesting energy for me because this is the emotional side of self, being brave enough to express. So your work this week is to allow yourself to pick up the sword, to express or communicate your emotions, even if you're uncertain or afraid of how exactly to do that. And it can also be about being watched by the feminine energy or watching the feminine energy, more likely watching the feminine energy. If you are doing this and you are not showing yourself to be doing that, if you are watching, if you are catfishing, if you are using private accounts, if you are doing this, you must question this behavior because this behavior is devilish. Having to watch or hide or spy from the sidelines is indicating your fear of being open about your feelings. So work on that, masculine. I feel like the masculine might be purposefully not even trying to watch the feminine. Like, oh, maybe if I don't see the feminine, then I'll feel better. All right, we're at that last part of the reading now. This is the oracles for both sides of self, the things that are in union that they both need to work on together, or with help from one another, with support from one another. And speaking of support, I could use some bookings, and you can click support on my website. All the links are below. I just had somebody new seek to join the spiritual nourishment course that's self-directed course. You can join. You can start it at any time. If you start now, during this month, myself and Ash, who are the co-creators of this course, are actually doing the course at the same time, although I am doing a very bad job with it. So I have not answered my journal prompts yet. It's fine. It's mostly just me procrastinating, having to deal with food again, because even though I have achieved some peace with it, it irritates me to look at it, and it's still peace that I need to make with it. So I definitely need to take that course. So if you're interested in that, it's $55, and it's meant to be something that you take at your own pace and you can return to. It has rituals and meditations. It has card readings that have insight about being intuitive about our body's needs. And it's interesting because it does address, like, if you have cravings for something that's food related, that there's usually a deeper craving going on. So it starts to help you be more intuitive about why you do the things you do. And that's really what's going to help you become the Empress, which is what the course is called. So if you're interested in that, the directions for joining it are all below. And you can catch me this weekend on Sunday with Grace Strega. Finally, we're probably going to go, I'm going to guess it's probably going to be around noon Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Noon Pacific Coast time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, somewhere around that time. 1 hour of live free readings on TikTok, followed by an hour-ish on Instagram, where we give you the option to choose your own personal reading. So you will get a personal reading in its entirety, 10:55 on the clock, 1:33 on the timer. So check that out. I'm so excited to be back with Sin. We had the holidays, and then she was under the weather, and she appears to be all better now. So we get her back, and I'm so happy. Both of us have withdrawal from one another for sure. All right, so join me on Sunday for that. Tomorrow I will be doing a Tell Me Everything spread that will be posted on the members only part of the site. It is only $3.33 to join. So come become a member today so you can hear your person tell you everything. All right, let's continue. We will finish now what ultimately is the door that needs to be opened or closed for both sides. It is the Six of Cups, and it is the one where there is an energy, a feminine energy, a wise feminine energy, reading from a book of stories about the past. And what will open up that door is, interestingly, the thing Divine Masculine had in reverse in his headspace. It is the Three of Wands, and it is faith, I like that in this image, we have this image of a lighthouse, and we have this individual here who's come out to wave this flame, because apparently the lighthouse flame is out. So, I don't know if somebody's up here trying to get this going, but in the meantime, he is doing this work of holding up the flames so that the ships that are coming in are going to be able to see him. So he's holding up this light. He has, it would seem there's a fire here. So there's been like a fire here that's been started so that he could bring the ships home. So you have to close the door on the old stories of the past and instead look to the future and be a beacon of light, drawing in that soulmate energy, drawing in that manifestation of that career that you want, of the financial abundance that you want. You need to call it to you, like that card that was talking about calling in your soul tribe. A personal issue reaches resolution. This is the Cancer energy. And it is usually, when I see that, it's like about home and family. So something having to do with home and family that has been an issue. This has reached a resolution for the both of you now. And then you are getting Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? This is 98. The Celtic word Imrama means a journey of the soul, a voyage on which we don't know where we are going, but our soul knows the way. If you pulled this card, you are either being called on a soul journey or are already on one. It could be a physical, ancient place or metaphoric. When we journey to places that our soul remembers, a shift takes place, both within us and to the planet as well. You are being called to journey to a place that is sacred to your soul. Perhaps it is to journey to the world's sacred sites, or called to cross the country, climb a mountain, lie on the desert floor, or drink from an ancient well. There are places to see and old friends to meet. I see spontaneous pilgrimages in your future. If a physical voyage isn't possible, journey through the portal of your heart. Follow the invisible soul trail and be willing to explore. Maybe read a book or watch a movie about a sacred time or place. Or perhaps you are being called to study an ancient lineage or body of work. Whatever your circumstances are, your soul is ready to journey deep. I'm hearing the song by the band Air, Universal Traveler. Or it's like, is it Universal Traveler or Soul Traveler? I don't know, but I keep hearing Universal Soul Traveler or Universal Traveler, whatever. So to activate this, repeat after me. May seeds of light, long ago planted, begin to rise. I am ready to remember ancient secrets from lands that my soul knows, from times past. May I be held by the ancient lineages that my soul has served, and remember that I don't have to do it all alone. I love that. All right, then you are getting Canary Spirit protection message. Sing your own song. A lot of oracles were reversed today, so I do really feel that to take the messages, if you follow the messages from the oracles today, you really are going to see a turnaround or a change take place in your life, in your situation. So this is the number 12 card. Are you suppressing your true voice, trying to sing the song you think people want to hear instead of your own? You create a cage around your life when you express only what you think will help you fit in and get what you think you want. Are you hiding the real you, telling a safe story about yourself to others because you are afraid they will think you are too different if they knew the truth? Canary Spirit comes to help you express yourself in a more honest and authentic way. Yes, not everyone will agree with you. In fact, not everyone will want to hear your originality or accept your uniqueness. You must not give this a single care. There will be plenty of people, opportunities, and wonderful new experiences that arrive as if by magic once you open your own cage door and fly free. Canary Spirit is cheering for you and wants you to know you are safe and loved. Find your voice and have courage to spread your wings and sing out loud. The world needs your true song. Beautiful. Your daily practice is to move your body. And it says, find time to move your body today. Walk, exercise, dance, row, swim, or what can you think of? So you can combine that with your getting grounded in nature. You could go move outside. Both of you need to do that, it would seem. Maybe you'll run into each other. Okay, let's see. This is your theme for the week. It says lust on it. It is actually the strength card from the Thoth Tarot. And it is a little bit of a different take because it is definitely more of the sexual nature of the theme of strength, controlling your sexual desires or passions. But that, of course, can also be coming together or uniting or being physical together, not just like in sex, but in that idea that you have to have this other part complete you, which is this fear the ego has that you alone are not enough on your own, that you aren't strong enough, that you aren't, capable enough, but you are. And that is truly implied here by the strength card. So getting control of your passions, getting control over the ego and the fears of the ego, that's what needs to be worked on this week. And, neither one of these strength cards truly emphasize the eternal connection. She's holding a lemniscate in her hand made out of little like points of light. You can see that. But the lemniscate is not present in this card. There are snakes, which represent both lust and the eternal, because snakes have that eternal energy, but very interesting. So it's definitely more about controlling your passions rather than just like the strength of a connection with people. All right, so we're going to close out now with this thing that I've been doing that has pushed all my readings to 2 hours, but whatever, is what is bothering the divine masculine? What is on his mind? What can't he stop thinking about today? What will help him move past that? And how can he go general? And then for the feminine as well, what is bothering her? What will help her move past that? And how can she go general in order to get into the feeling space of that? Okay. Let's start with divine feminine. Oh, divine feminine, you can't stop thinking about attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, and third-party interference, right? This is what your general energy was about. You can't stop thinking about, the third party that maybe seduced your person away, or a third party that's seducing you, or it doesn't matter. You just can't get this out of your head. What should you be thinking? Or what will help you, rather? This is the love card. In reverse, it says unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. Divine feminine, in situations where there has been somebody untrustworthy that has been keeping other energy besides you around, third-party interference or whatever, those connections were not loving. That person who did that to you, not loving. Now, if they told you that they had a third party that they were open about, if they revealed it to you and they said, I can't be with you because of this, and I have to go take care of this. That's slightly different. But if you have a person in your life and you're finding out all these things about them, that they had all these third parties and all this kind of stuff, the truth is there isn't love there. There's not. It was most likely you chose that person because of a lack of self-love. So that's why you've had situations where there was this third party energy. But in a true love, in an unconditional love situation where there is self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction, there is nothing that can interfere with that. So if there's something that can interfere with you being able to be with a person, then the love that you would want to see, it's not there. So how can you go general? How can you stop thinking about this? How can you be worried about attracting other energy like this? And how can you open up to receiving somebody who isn't going to bring in like a lot of lies and third party energy, etc.? This says talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, or hoovering. This is not talking about what you don't want. It's interesting because normally this position for me is going to give me something that's going to help me put you into a mind space where you're not creating what you don't want and you are creating what you do want. And right now, my guides are telling me, in this case, the divine feminine doesn't have anything to do today. Remember, her position to how to soothe herself was to not do anything. And so I don't have instructions for her today that are like, okay, I want you to think about a time when this happened. What I want you to do is stop talking about the third party interference and lack of love you've experienced in the past. Just stop talking about it. Either don't talk at all to some people today, pull back from talking or conversing because you're too tempted to talk about this, or talk about entirely different things. Be mindful, but when you feel yourself hedging over into talking about this untrustworthy person who did these things, who had a lack of love for you, stop talking. Because this is what is keeping you from being able to be in alignment. So no longer talking about it is not going to feed your beliefs or experiences in regards to that. And I guess if you want to go general, what you could think about is think about another time when something bad happened to you and you talked about it constantly. Talked about it. And then worse things happened. Or, you talked about something that you were worried about that was even kind of unlikely. Like, well, what if this happens? And then you're like, oh my God, that is what happened. So feel into the times in your life when you know that talking about something you don't want created more of it. There are definitely examples. And then surrender to that knowing. And if you feel yourself compelled to mention, this person did this, that, or the other thing, zip it. Divine Masculine, you cannot stop thinking about paradise. Happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, and enjoying each other. You cannot stop thinking about wanting to be with the feminine energy and finally get to enjoy it, and it'll make you so happy, and it will give you so much joy, and it will give you so much pleasure. And yet this is keeping you from doing anything because it's a paradise, because it's a fantasy. Remember, your Get Grounded card was in reverse because you are in this fantasy world, okay? What will help you is Girl with a Snake in reverse, empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used in evil, and boundaries. So you are focused on the paradise because your fears of coming together into a union with another girl with a snake. You're worried about being with another narcissist, probably because you probably were with one before, or potentially just having somebody that's just charming you or using you to meet their needs right now, and feeling like, it's 11:11 on the clock, and feeling like they don't truly have your back. Like something about being afraid that every feminine energy is just a girl with a snake. Having to release this, because this fear about the feminine is keeping you from enjoying your life, enjoying paradise with her. And then you're getting how to go general, you're getting hammer. It says sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, or working on it. So maybe you are so concerned about the empath narcissist paradigm, you fear that you're going to keep entering into that cycle again. So you need to go back to a time in your life when you were consistently doing something that you could look at as being relatively sabotaging, like it's preventing you from getting what you want. Like and it shouldn't be related to relationships. It should be not related to relationships. Because if you talk about relationships when you want a relationship or something, or you talk about the thing that you want, when it's not gonna happen. So let me think. Okay, so prime example. I have a tendency, as a Pisces rising, to receive mail and put it over there in a box, especially if it looks official in any way. I don't want to deal with that. Why would I want to deal with such a thing? Well, having done this for many years, in classic Pisces avoidant behavior, I have created a lot of fucking turmoil for myself. What? I didn't get this notice. I don't know what you're talking about. I never saw it. And then there's a big problem, right? Or I get something and I'm like, oh, I have to take care of this. And then I put it over here in front of my TV thinking, oh, I'll see that later when I watch TV and that will make me take care of it. And I don't. And then I don't take care of it and I don't get the money I'm supposed to get or the thing I'm supposed to do or have or whatever. This always seemed to be such an integral part of me. I just felt like it would never end. Like I need to be with somebody who's more stable and consistent because I'm so fucking inconsistent that I will always be a fuck up and my life will always suck. Okay. It's like definitely a fear I had about myself financially, just getting my career, getting organized and stuff. And now I fucking write shit down. I might not do things right away, but I account for it. I know what's coming. I'm pretty confident about some of the things that I do need to do. You know, it's not perfect. I'm not perfect, but I actually do plan my schedule. I make an effort. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And every day I get a little better. Case in point, I soft launched my course on the night before Christmas Eve, which I promised myself I would do. And I did it. And then it was ready for the first of the year for people who, instead of dieting, wanted to actually tune into their bodies. I did it. Okay. In the past, I would have done a bunch of shit to sabotage that, but I've been working on myself. I've been working on it and I am better. I am doing better. I don't do the same things I used to do. I don't, open myself up to a lot of disappointment. I am smarter, wiser, more efficient, better. Okay. Divine masculine. Think of a time in your life when you were doing the things I said and you just, subtly shifted into a place where you can hold up your planner and there's shit written in it, right? When you never used to do that. That will help you to start to open up to the potential that you have healed an old wound and you will no longer engage with partners who will need to trigger that wound because it's healed. You just have to believe in that. So find other times when you've healed wounds and now you have consistency and you don't sabotage yourself in other areas in your life where maybe you used to. All right. And then the final card that's at the very bottom of the deck is addiction, codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, and has a block or restraint. So it is, weird. Okay. I got love call here left behind. It must be when I picked up the deck that was on the bottom. Someone expresses love. Okay. I guess the two of these coming out is significant. Obsession with someone expressing love or thinking of you or letting you know. This addiction to receiving external validation in regards to love and relationships is blocking you from being successful in your life because you've convinced yourself that hearing this information, hearing these communications, remember the 10 of Wands, you're convinced as soon as my divine masculine says, you're the one, I love you, I want to be with you, boom, everything's going to be great. Think about if you've ever been addicted to a substance or a show or whatever. And you tell yourself, as soon as I have that substance, as soon as I binge that show, then I'm going to feel better. But what happens? I thought it was supposed to make you feel better. Well, why'd you have to do it again later? Because you didn't feel better? So you had to do it again? And then, well, now you did it again, and it doesn't feel as good as it did the first time. And I guess I should do it more because now I feel even worse. Now it's starting to have side effects that make me feel shitty, but I guess I'm kind of a shitty person anyway. So I guess I must deserve that. So I'll continue to just keep doing that thing because I know at some point maybe it'll make me happy. And it sure as fuck doesn't make me happy when I'm just sitting here and facing myself. So that's definitely not working. So I'm just going to keep being addicted. And I know that as soon as I receive it, as soon as I get it again, as soon as I get enough money and I can get my fix, or as soon as I get that vague story or that vague playlist or that vague whatever the fuck that's not actually a real thing, is just like hoovering and just keeping me hooked. As soon as I get that, that's when I'll feel happy. I'll feel happy. You know that. You will not. I don't care if this masculine calls you and says, or the feminine, it doesn't matter which, but I don't care if this person calls you and says, I love you, you're the only one for me, and I just want to be with you forever, and I want to blend our lives, and I just want to do, whatever you want to do, I just want to be with you, I want to be with you. Okay. That's what you want. Then you're like, oh my God, yes, now I'm happy. But why? Like, that person's love didn't give you permission to follow your dreams. Their love didn't give you permission to eat the foods that speak to you or call to you, to move your bodies in the ways that you want to be called to move in. That person loving you didn't make you prettier. It didn't make you feel prettier or feel better about your body. It didn't. If it does, it's not going to last because it's based on someone else holding a vision of you that is what you would like to be. But you don't ever make yourself this thing, so you'll never believe what they're saying. Remember, you'll never believe it. Oh, you're the greatest artist. You're a genius. You're incredible. You're so amazing. You're like, what do you think about when you wake up in the morning? What kind of toothpaste do you use? Like, oh my God, that's so amazing. Do you feel better? Do you feel better that there are so many people who are so interested, who love and adore you? Do you feel better now? Was it that? Was that the thing? It was that. It was that. Now you feel good. Great. I guess I won't see you tomorrow because your person called and said, oh, I love you and I want to be with you. Well, I have to do some stuff first. I still need to do this, that, and the other thing. And I don't know if I'm going to be ready, or maybe they are ready. Maybe like, I'm ready to be with you. Everything's ready. It's perfect. It's great. But all the problems you had that you used this person's love to make you feel better, all those problems didn't go away. They're there. Now you just have this person's love too. So for as long as you're in the honeymoon period, things are going to be fine. But maybe you still drink. Maybe you still party. Maybe you do it now together. Maybe you still avoid doing the thing you wanted to do because now you fuck all day. I don't know. Release the idea that your ego's lust, the things that your ego lusts after, actually bring any happiness. Because the happiness, it doesn't come from lust. It doesn't come from addiction. It comes from feeling complete. And you don't feel complete outside of yourself. You just never will. For as long as you need something else to complete you, you need something else. All right. I hope that helped you. Yay. It's 1:59:56. We're going to hit 2 hours. I'm so happy to be with you for this time, though. I do love this. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you, everybody, for staying all the way to the end, getting those important messages about how to go general. Don't talk about what you don't want today. Period. Point blank. Don't do it. It's so hard. I want to call everybody and be like, do you want to know what he did? And instead, I'm just going to be like, hey, Bowie, do you want to go outside and watch the mourning doves and the dog that lives up on the roof over there? All right. Have the best day. I shall see you tomorrow. If you are a member on pearlsprayers.com, that's $3.33 to be a member and hear the Tell Me Everything spread. Otherwise, I'll see you Sunday with Grace Strega on TikTok and Instagram. Have the best day.